When I was 14 years old, I kind of knew already what I wanted to do because I grew up on a farm, so we had a lot of exposure to wildlife, and my dad was into hunting and fishing, and we would always look forward to his moose stories in the evenings and hear how things went. So I think it's because of him that I was kind of directed in that field. So I started taxidermy at the age of 14. I wasn't really that good at it, but that's kind of a natural progression when you're a farm kid usually, is you're exposed to wildlife and nature and you observe different species, and then taxidermy piques an interest and you want to mount these things in a natural position and make them look real. I am creating 3 pieces for the Courtenay Museum. One is a Pacific ratfish, another one is a vampire squid, and a flapjack devilfish. I have an existing mold for the ratfish, and from the mold, it's a 2-piece mold, so I put a mold release inside it, and then we use resin and automotive bondo to make a little bit of a slurry. Brush it inside the mold, reinforce it with fiberglass, and I use a different material for the fins. We clamp the mold together and wait usually overnight and pull it out. Then you have to pull the cast out and clean it up, and the fins are a separate mold, so you got to make the fins, and then you attach them all onto the body and sand them and wash it and then prime it and then get ready for painting. The eyes are very unique on the ratfish. They are quite large and they have a very green reflective surface to them. So it's a very unique eye. Okay, this is the mold of the ratfish. So it's a two-piece mold, and clamp it up and you pop out the replica. Here's the fin mold. The pectoral fins, which are the ones in the front, they're like wings on an airplane. They stick straight out from the side. And here is the ratfish in process, and it's a male. It's got this protrusion with little teeth on it. It actually clamps that onto the female's pelvic fin, so she doesn't get away. And it's got a poison spine, and I can say firsthand that it hurts because I had a thumb poke on here and my skin peeled for weeks actually. I make my own eyes. So the ratfish has a very reflective green eye. So to achieve that, I spray paint the back green on top of a clear casting resin on a commercial lens, and I put a foil on the back so it gives that reflective surface. The vampire squid, I borrowed the mold from the BC Museum. I used a different material for that. It's called castol urethane. So it's a two-component mixture, and you mix it together and it chemical reaction and it turns into plastic. And again, I have to make the eyes because they're a certain size and color. And vampire squid, usually it's a red or a blue reflection when the lights hit it under in that deep abyss. The vampire squid, I have to cut out the pieces of skin between the tentacles, and I'm replacing them with a semi-transparent material so it looks more like a fleshy surface. And then they have they're like flippers. Those will go on here. The LEDs will be going on each tentacle, and this is called the false eye. So when a predator approaches the vampire squid, as a defense mechanism, its eyes will actually turn on and then they'll shrink. So it looks like it's swimming away, but it's actually right in front of, say, a blue shark. So if it's ever bitten on this part, there's no problem because it's not life-threatening. And I'll have the eyes with the LED dimming and brightening, as well as the tentacles. So it shows the bioluminescence of this species. And this is the way I made the tentacles. Just pop this one out because I haven't pulled that one out yet. And then you have the suction cups and the the other parts to it. And then I will grind this out and put the fiber optic underneath this, so you'll be able to see it flash and kind of get diffused. The Flapjack Devilfish is also known as a pancake octopus because it's just, when it lays on the floor of the ocean, it just lays flat. That's a mold from the BC Museum as well. And I will modify it by using transparent materials and layer it and put colors between because it's more gelatinous. And then we have the Flapjack Devilfish. It's just really a little blob. And the unique thing about this octopus, it has the ear flaps, so it can propel itself with this. And unlike other octopus, of course, just being not as mobile. The membranes almost go to the end of the tentacles, so there's not a lot of separation between them. Generally, I have to attach some kind of hardware to the specimen so they can display them at the museum. Sometimes they'll be from the belly, so it's a 360 view, or just view one-sided. These ones are 360, so I'll put a rod in the bottom of it. And they're usually high glossed, but in museum situations, a semi-gloss is better because there's hot spots from lights. And I'll just wrap them up in bubble wrap and curry them over to Courtenay.